Hello, everybody. Where are you at?
Oh, I'm just DJing right
DJ Yvette.
DJ.
Turn off the YouTube doesn't slap us on the wrist.
Slap us on the wrist.
For music.
Oh, but I love music.
I know. It's
I
unfortunate.
always need music in the
Yeah,
background.
for a lot of things we can get away with it, but we post this on YouTube and you can't.
You make some music then?
Yeah, I think you can sing it. I don't think that's illegal. I think if you sing the songs.
Why don't you sing it? Most of the songs I've been listening to for this whole week.
Very inappropriate.
It's not that. It's savage. Savage.
Yeah, that's true. There's some bad parts of it though.
There are.
Man, you're in the way of our sign.
Sorry. I just made my coffee.
Yeah. Today's topic is back kick power and how to generate power from your back kicks. Last week we talked about reaction time, one important aspect, obviously, but then the power to actually, sure you move quick enough, but did you put all the mechanics together to deliver the force where you need to go? So that's what we'll be covering today, and obviously we'll always be talking about measuring it as well. So we'll show you what we do to set baselines, train, measure, and adjust. It's always the
baseline, train, measure, adjust.
Yeah. STMA.
STMA.
STMA. Yeah, STMA. I'm sure that stands for something somewhere else. So that's what we'll be talking about today.
Yeah, so we're basically gonna do the same type of thing that we did last week. I broke down the entire technique of the back kick, and we just work on those for the reaction. Like last week, I did the breakdown of the jumping, the breakdown of the switching, and the breakdown of actually doing the kick. So that's what we're going to be doing today. I'm going to show you how to make your kicks more powerful, how to follow through with them, and what to work on.
Yeah, and if you remember, the value of the back kick, not only for in today's Taekwondo rule scoring, it's worth how many points? 4, 3, 5, somewhere around that. More than 2. So it's around 4 points, I think. Yeah. The rules have changed.
Around.
4 points.
So
it's either 3, 4,
all
or
the time.
5. It's either 3, 4, or 5. It's definitely not 2. So it's worth more points. I mean, they say it's a little bit harder to execute. I don't think it's that hard to execute. It was one of my favorite kicks. But then, I mean, compared to like a spin hook kick or something, there's more risk.
Well, I love the spin hook kick.
You do?
Yeah, I love the spin hook kick.
Yeah, you like the 360 too.
I love it, yeah. Used to be my favorite kick as a junior, the spin hook kick.
Yeah. Yeah, you scared a lot of people when that's your favorite kick. That's why a lot of people are scared of her. And then, so more points, and then what it actually does to the person. So it hurts. It's probably one of the strongest kicks, I think.
If you execute it well, and if you actually go through and follow through with it. So that's what
not just touching, and that's what today's topic is power. So when you do follow through, when you do hit, it really makes the other person stop and think twice and 3 times before they attack again. So it really messes people up psychologically, and it physically can hurt them too. They actually slow them down. And then when you get slowed down, then everything else it's a domino effect, and then the number of points. So if you can do this well, definitely a great thing to put into your arsenal.
Yeah, and especially today in Taekwondo, nobody really kicks for power anymore, right? They just kick enough for the threshold to get that point, right? But if you're the athlete that kicks and follows through and hits them, they're definitely going to think twice, and they're going to be like,
right, and for strategy, right, exactly, and that can be one of your strategies, right? Like, again, people only think about the points, and that is important, obviously, but how you make the other player feel and make them doubt themselves and decline their performance, also is just another way to get more points, whether they miss the opportunity for their points, whether they open up for you to get more points. So it's not just as simple as just do enough to get the point and that's it. So, we really have to think a little bit beyond the simple, I guess, gotta get more points. There's more to the game, and this is one big aspect of it. Yeah. So. So remember, we will set a baseline. Yvette will give you some training drills on how to kick harder. We'll show you how to measure. Obviously, 22 hours can help you measure it. You can do this without any measurement, but then you won't really know if you're improving. But at least you'll learn some things regardless.
Oh man, I should have warmed up before. So first, we're always going to set a baseline. So I'm going to turn on the chest guard. I'm going to do a back kick as powerful as I can. And then we're going to measure it first, right?
Yeah.
The baseline for it.
So you can use the 2020 hour app as well, which will tell you the exact number, right? Or you can just use the best. That's game number 10 on level 4 for you, and we won't put a time on it. So if you just want to do like a quick, okay, how am I doing? What's the power level like? Just use the vest, and the display will tell you. The more lights that show up, the harder the hit. If you want to now start really measuring and tracking it over time, that's when you connect the app, put on the power mode, and then you can actually see in number of joules how hard you're hitting. Okay?
All right. So we're doing jump back kick this time. It's not just a regular back kick. So we're going to do jump back kick. You can hold it for me. All right. Oh my goodness.
All right.
All right.
We got the middle of the yellow.
Middle of the yellow. Okay.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Let's do it.
So
Let's have some fun
it's
today.
a little competition. Yeah. I didn't warm up either.
It shows.
You try one more time.
Okay.
Second one a little bit better. Just about a little less than you. Yeah. So I mean, power is a transfer of your weight, your speed, and then your technique. So how much you can make it fold, how much you can actually transfer it, is what's going to measure. So you can see her first technique was much better than mine, and then mine with my sloppy technique, you can see you had a little bit less. So that's our baseline. That's where we'll start, and let's just get better.
Yeah. So the breakdown of the back kick. Like last week, I broke it down. It first starts with your stance, okay? So ideally, everybody who wants to do a back kick, you can actually see it when they're fighting in the fight. They're like this.
Don't give it away.
You're like, I know you're going to do a back kick, so no one's going to attack you, right? So ideally, you want to have the stance the same as when you're going to use any other kick, but that's a little bit hard. If you're fighting like this, you can do a roundhouse, you can do an axe kick. But from here, it's really hard to do a back kick because you have to turn all the way and then kick again.
So closer reaction time.
It does, but the thing is, if you work on your muscles, your legs, and everything, it's going to be easier for you, right? Because it's muscle memory. From here, you can always do a jump back kick just like that. All right. So with that said, I'd like to show you guys some exercises, some workouts that I do to help strengthen my quads, everything all the way from upper body, lower body to upper body. Okay, so the first one is, I need a weight. Here we go.
Wait, a couple right there.
Yeah. Alright. Okay, so with the weight like this, or you can even use a plate, those are like easier to hold. Right. Like the plates that you put on the barbells. So plain and simple, you guys want to hold your form just the same way you would be like doing a roundhouse or whichever, right? So from here, all you have to do is just hold the weight close to your as one. You don't want to hold it further away from you. Let me take off my jacket before I start sweating. Okay. So what I start doing is, plain and simple, the back kick is just like this, going back like that, right? So what you want to do is strengthen your leg and your core. You're going down for squat. All you have to do is turn, come up, turn, and step. That's the basic motion of the back kick without kicking, okay? So from here, you can even stand in front of the ball, squat, down. And you'll see that your balance is gonna be like all over the place. So that's where you have to activate your core a lot, okay? That's why I say that holding a plate, like let's, for example, if you have a plate like this, holding it just like this is the easiest way. So you're as one. Down, back kick, okay? And again, down, back kick. But this is a really light plate, so.
That's not actually my weight, that's
not
my
weight.
Just so you know.
You can hold it just like this. From here, you can do a squat in that same stance that you usually hold for your fight stand. This is what I do. I'm gonna do squat, step, And then you can step back, you can do the other leg, squat, step, whoa, you see? Really helpful. So again, squat, step, good, other way, squat, step. Whew,
How many would you suggest to do?
So I would suggest to do 10 per side. You want to have a little rest in between, let's say 3 rounds. And then when you are feeling more comfortable and your core is more stronger, this is where we add in the elastics. Okay, so ideally you want to like hook it onto something, but Ali, you can stand here and you can hold it for me. Right here on the floor. You can even put it around your foot. So around your leg, yeah. You just stand there. You sure you want to?
Don't let it go.
One leg, yeah, that's fine. So what you want to do is better from here. Okay.
Okay.
Mind you guys, we didn't warm up, so from here you can hold the wrist like this, squat, and then you want to step. Boom. Okay, one more time. Let's do it. Come a little further here. Yeah, it's just easier. Okay. Down, boom, whoop. Okay. Yeah, this is quite hard. To really focus on this. Boom. Okay, this really helps you with your switching as well from here to make it more aerodynamic because you have no choice but to go from underneath here. Right? So if you go without the elastic, your leg might come out like this. And that's when people can see your back hip, right? So by using the elastic, you're not only using that, but making it more aerodynamic. From here, down, boom. Okay? Again, down, boom.
Yes. Yeah, your equilibrium when you use the
yeah,
weights.
it really does throw it off. I was kicking to the side here because of that, the elastic.
Weights throw it off, yeah. And so another point to go off the one that you said about the not going wide. Obviously, the more straighter a kick is, the less chance you have to see it, and also the more power it actually generates as well. So again, going from here is extremely, extremely important. Heel to your bum, and whoops, I have no excuse. I wouldn't do anything. Will make it go faster, and then that transfer the power also. So keep it as straight as possible.
Yeah. Again, this is you don't want to start with the elastic right away. Not even with the weight right away. You want to, like I don't even start with it right away. I go from here, squat, and step. Until you have that motion 100%
right.
without going off balance, then you're ready for the
more.
next step.
Right.
And then you go for the weight. After the weight, you add on the elastics. After that, you take it off and you blast.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that is one of the motions for, one of the workouts for making your back hip more aerodynamic, more powerful. And then now I'm going to talk about the actual jump.
Right.
Right? So now we know how to do the back kick from this motion, making it strong. Boom. How do we incorporate the jump into it? Alright, so that goes back to last week when we used the elastic right here. Same kind of thing for the reaction. Use the thrusters. Boom. And you realize that you're working your entire body from the ground all the way up into that lockout position. Alright? Whew. Oh, goodness. I've been working out all week, so my quads are so tired. Oh my gosh. Yeah, and then that also, after that you want to move on to weighted jumps. So from here, you can do weighted thrusters and then weighted jumps. Squat jumps. Woo!
So we were talking about this before we started this live stream, kind of some of the different back kicks, and it gets a little. Once you start getting into those, you can start talking about a lot of different things. But what we're kind of really talking about here is a counter back kick at least versus an attack, which is a little bit of a different motion. So you notice we're kind of assuming someone's coming towards us. Attack back kick's a little bit different. And then some people, so let's just assume we're talking about counter back kick. And some people counter back kick, they jump up. Some people, they kind of go straight away. So everyone is different. There is a wrong way of doing some things, but there is style that you have to take into account as well. So I think your style, you'd like to jump up as well.
Well, it depends. If I want to, actually, it really depends. If somebody's coming at me, like from far away and I see it, I'm definitely going to jump up in the air and then find that time in the air to see where they are, and then kick up.
Interesting. Okay.
But if somebody is in super close to me, I like to do a jump switch kind of back kick, you know? That also generates a lot of power because you're going from the ground. You know, like the, how can I explain this? Let's say you have a piece of like plastic or something. You're pushing against and then letting go just like that. That's what I think about when my foot is on the ground.
Right.
And I'm switching from the ground and pushing off. Just like that, you know, that kind of...
Yeah. I know what you mean. I don't know if there is a term for that, but yeah, just kind of like a spring kind of motion.
Yeah, like a spring, exactly.
Yeah. So, I mean, so those are, it's not enough time in 30 minutes to cover all those subtleties, but suffice it to say these things that we're telling you about for power will allow you to transfer it into the opponent much better. Cool.
Yeah.
Okay. So anyway, sorry, you were saying jumping.
Yeah, jumping. From the elastic, from thrusters, after the thrusters you can add on a weight. After the weight you can start actually jumping and then incorporate that all together. I have a story. When I was training when I was a junior, when I was about 12 years old, we were training with elastics. And we were told to put only one elastic on our leg. And silly me, I want to do more. I put 2 elastics on my leg. I walked all the way forward. I was like, okay, I'm ready. And I did a jump back, and my legs went flying. I went face flat on the floor. Like I didn't even think about how they would pull both of my legs backwards.
Yeah. So use one elastic.
Yeah, use one elastic, guys. Not 2. Don't overdo it like me when I was a junior. Let's see. All right. And the last thing I want to go over is the actual kick.
Right.
The actual follow through of the kick, because now we can jump, now we can do that switching power, but how do we actually execute the back kick from there? Okay, how do we execute it? So, one of the main things that you actually said was you love to follow through and push out your entire leg.
Yeah.
Can we see that for one moment?
Yeah. So we were talking about this last week. So some people do the back kick. They leave and they come down here. I like to think of it as a wall, kicking off of a wall. And actually, that's maybe one of the things you could do if you're not comfortable yet. So I use it as something to push off. And that helps me. I feel it makes me commit more. So you have no choice. Like you have to use that thing to push off, and I feel like it transfers power better too.
Yeah. So one thing you could do is, again with the elastic, this thing is like the best thing you can have. I love this.
Well, this is the best.
Oh yeah, this is the best thing.
It's the second best thing. It's very versatile. Yeah.
It is. It's very versatile. You can actually attach it to your hip. There's many ways of training. I used to train alone sometimes when I didn't have a partner.
Right.
You put it here, and you can just attach it to your leg just like that. Super plain and simple. Really easy, guys. Okay, and then you can hold on to the wall or something and just work on that extension of the hips.
Right.
Okay, from here, boom. Or you can even attach it to the wall. Oh man, that feels good.
Yeah.
But yeah, you really want to work on that extension, because from here, when you're doing the back kick, it's really easy just to fall back because that person is coming at you, right? Again, back kick extension. You want to extend your hips until it's straight out, right? Even if you move back, even if the person moves back, you create that distance between you guys, right? So if you do that back kick and you're still here, that person's able to kick you again. But if you extend, he either goes back or I go back.
Yeah.
Right? So you want to create that distance with that extension of the hips.
Yeah, there's almost I've never ever when I kick that way and push away, they're never able to follow up because first of all they've been hit, and then your body is in this weird position. It's hard for you to like move fast this way, right?
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
it's actually a very safe way to do it as well.
Yeah, what I tell my the athletes is to think of your heel as an arrow shooting through.
Right.
You know, because when they kick, sometimes their toes touch first or everything, but
Right.
the power really comes from your heel, because it comes straight from the leg, that bone to the heel, as opposed to the toes, right? You're not going to get as much power from the toes. From the heel all the way through, think of it as an arrow shooting through to the other side.
Right, that's a good one as well. So full extension, heel lands first. I like to push off to generate that extra power.
Yeah, same thing as going for a high kick. You can practice this going for high as well, because your knee is pointing downwards, not to the side. When you do point to the side, that's where it gets hard. It's harder to kick upwards, right? Because your body doesn't really go that way. So using the elastic really helps you with that aerodynamic going either here or to chest or even up there. Boom. Just like that. Ugh. Boom. Alrighty. I'm gonna try another back kick with all those thinking in mind. My stance on the floor, turning really fast, jumping, switching, and following through. Okay?
I felt that. Yeah. I really did feel that. Really weird. So yeah, you can see way higher.
And also, guys, when you fully extend your hips, when you're landing, it's easier to land like this, right? Because if you don't fully extend, you're coming here, you're coming down, the person's still at you, you're gonna fall down on the floor.
Right.
Right?
Right. And then with measuring power, with 2020 armor or with anything actually, you have to measure it on. My face is cut off. You have to measure it on the same thing. So if you're going to put it on a bob or a weight master or a freestanding bag, if you switch it to another thing, you're going to get different results. Just simply because the thing that's on is different, right? So the way we measure power is how much surface area, how much slapping motion, how much it concaves. How much it concaves will depend on the person, right? So to have that consistency, make sure it's on the same thing.
Yeah, on a standstill object, or like if somebody's holding it, make sure they hold it like.
Yeah, with somebody holding it, it is going to throw the readings off. If that's your only choice, that's your only choice. But a human moves, right? And then as the people are getting beat, you're going to move even more, right? So this guy has no feelings and emotions, so he doesn't move. And then with such a powerful kick like a back kick, you still need someone to actually also hold it as well, because even this thing we can knock it over very easily, even when it's completely full. So that's one tip to remember when you're measuring power for the consistency and accuracy to do that. So her last kick that she put everything in got all the way to the almost to the white, the beginning of the white, which is like the last quadrant. And so yeah, you can easily just see. So if you're all the things that you're putting together are working, right? So you can do one little exercise, try it out, and see. Okay, that's definitely working. That's getting more powerful. Which is again really important for you to know. Is like, hey, is it powerful or not? Right? It's a simple question, but we're finally able to tell you. So I think everything's still hurting.
Yeah, because a lot of the fighters these days use that non-back kick kind of thing, but that's
slapping on you.
That slap one, right? I don't really find that as effective as the original back kick, because right now people are searching just for points, right? And with this technique, you can get the points and you can crush them, and they'll think twice about coming at you again, right? Yeah. So what we're teaching right now is to actually stop your opponent, not get the point and then move away, right? Right. So I think it's a little bit more effective than the slap. Because the slap doesn't really generate that much power. I mean,
it is world ranked #1 for a reason. So. Yeah, absolutely. So the again, what we mentioned at the beginning of the live stream for someone that you guys are joining now is that when you deliver the power, you can do more to your opponent than just get the points, which is psychologically a big thing, because a match between two people is really a lot of the things that we struggle with is the mental. I think mental, when you get to a certain level, is about 80% of the game. The assumption is that everyone physically is about similar, right? So if you can mess with their head with making them doubt themselves, the game is different. Right?
It is different, and the thing is, you save a lot more energy as well, because if you think about the fight these days, they're just kicking, getting points off of each other, and they're doing it non-stop. Right. But if you're able to stop your opponent, you're going to have more time to rest, you're going to have more things to think about, more tactical in the fight, right? And I mean, this motion is the same for a spinning heel kick, like for me, right? So I do the same thing from here, up, and then kick. The more aerodynamic, the more better, because your opponent can't see it, right? Same kind of thing. Oh, my favorite kick, spinning heel kick.
Not your opponent's favorite.
think of to help with the power. The elastic is my favorite, I want to say toy, but favorite equipment to use for kicks, power, resistance. That you can do a lot with this elastic. You can find it on Amazon. You can go to any department store, they have it.
Right.
Super simple, plain and easy.
Cool. All right. Oh, the Grand Chat, Master John.
Oh, Grand Chat.
So consistent. Good to see you, sir. Sean, nice to see you as well, buddy. He used to be one of my, not used to, this still is my junior, but he's still an older man now. Yeah, Patrick's our favorite as well. Thank you guys for joining. We will put these videos on YouTube as well, so you can reference them whenever you need to. I know there's a lot of content here that we go through. We were just having, we've been doing this for 20, 25 years, so it's something that's second nature to us. But sometimes it takes time to get into your head. You have to keep on practicing because.
And we'd love to see it. Post online. We'd love to see your back kicks, your kicks, your power.
If you tag us,
everything.
and we can take a look and say, hey, this is what I tried, and see if we have any comments. Obviously, if we're available to do that, we will. But that's a great idea.
Awesome. I'm glad they loved it.
Okay, thank you.